Welcome back to the fourth and final round here at Guardian Games for Modern Mondays. And yeah, this is going to be for all the marbles here. It looks like we have a matchup of getting the overlay. Here we go. A couple different blue-red decks playing each other, one of which is going to be playing Phoenix, the other of which is going to be playing some kind of lock elements.
Yeah, we have a fun final match for y'all this evening. Uh, it turns out Sam Black is in town, so
Yeah, and was kind of excited, or well, I wouldn't say excited, but
was
was
nice enough
nice enough to play on camera.
to play on camera for us this evening. So we get to watch a really fantastic player, uh, kind of experimenting. Sam, is kind of always known for really kind of pushing the boundaries as to what's possible, especially it seems with prison decks. So
It
a
was
real treat to get to watch kind of what he's put together for this evening.
kind of early on Amulet Titan as well, if I remember, too, and kind of an early adopter of decks that tend to end up performing pretty well at high-level competitive events. And looks like we have a fetch for a basic island from Sam, and we just had a Spire Buff Canal and a pass from Mason.
Yeah, I think for those of us that are always trying to brew decks and, facing what the vast majority of the time is failure, it's pretty cool to see somebody that is as consistently good at brewing archetypes that end up making it as Sam is. So
Is that a Pyrite Spellbomb that we got over there?
yes.
And it looks like we have the Pyromancer's Ascension in the graveyard for Mason, so he might be on the 4 Ascension deck list. And I see
Yep.
one in the hand, which is an interesting way to maybe get around some of the prison locks. Alright, and the Pyromancer's Ascension resolves, passing a turn back to Sam. Oh, that's a cool one.
Prismatic Vista.
I wish I'd gotten in on that a little earlier.
Yes, our newest fetch land. Yeah, I think any fetch land that comes in at, what was it, like $15 when it was first came in?
And
Yeah.
hope we get a Mishra's Bauble and a Thopter Foundry. Gonna now sack the Bauble after using the Mox to generate some mana.
Some very heads-up sequencing here by Sam. Fetches to 18. Kind of nice that these two-color decks get to play Prismatic Vista at this point, which gives them kind of their fetch lands 5 through 8 of whatever specific color combination they're looking for.
It does feel like with the two-color decks that the first Vista is better than maybe your first off-color fetch land.
Sure. Yeah, I think it really depends on how many of each type of land you're playing in your deck as far as like basics and
So Mason's got some potentially really explosive stuff going on in the hand. We've got 2 Manamorphose. I got a Lightning Bolt.
and this
What
is
else do we have? We have a Phoenix in there, so kind of speculative, but if you start with the Manamorphose, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
well, you do know that if you play them both, you'll get one counter on that Ascension. So but that said, Manamorphose is one of the strongest cards once the Ascension is active. So I have seen people forego playing them until after the Ascension is active. That said, it does not look like Mason has the cards to activate it without maybe utilizing the Manamorphose. And good job on your sequencing, Mason, remembering to toss the counter. Mason's at 2 spells. It looks like he's adding blue-red.
Oh.
Wow, picks up the 3rd Manamorphose, so can
I'm kind of
load
tempted
up.
to cast it, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just turn on the Ascension.
Yeah, you've got a Bolt. Although he's, Mason's almost out of gas after
Well, I
that.
got a Thought Scour now, so
Okay.
2 Thought Scours.
Sitting on 1 red.
Oh. Well, nothing good in the graveyard there.
Did not hit any phoenixes, and did not hit a looting to get rid of the phoenix in his hand. So
We still have a land drop to make here. So Serum Vision,
Serum Visions.
when you get 2 copies, seems pretty strong because you get to. Oh, well, there's that Faithless Looting. Definitely putting that on top.
It is pretty insane once once Pyromancer's Ascension gets going.
And it looks like a land and a thing in the ice are probably going to go to the bottom. And if it's remaining red, I think I'm going to cast that Faithless Looting.
To draw, it looks like he picked up another Phoenix there. So 2 Phoenixes will go to the bin. The second copy of Faithless Looting will go off. Mason doing a really good job remembering all of his triggers, sequencing properly here. Probably, it looks like he's out of mana. We'll move to combat here. Grab a couple Phoenixes. Putting Sam in a pretty tough bind here, as once you're sitting at 12 against an active Ascension with a Lightning Bolt in hand, Mason just needs to find another bolt to close out this match. And he even has a Finale of Promise, so 1 bolt might even be good enough with the Finale. I've not seen exactly what Sam's deck is capable of, but he's going to have a pretty good turn, so maybe looking to establish the Thopter Sword combo with Urza here. Let's actually take a look at Urza.
I think we were just talking about this during break, how Urza is one of those iconic Magic figures that is now has a card and is a creature.
Yeah, we're not really sure how to feel about it. Chat, how do you feel about that? About Urza actually having a creature identity? I think I was kind of always hoping that that he would never have an identity as a card.
It's got some big robots behind him.
Yeah, I think maybe I would have. The art is good. Don't get me wrong. The art is really cool, but I think I would have loved to see something maybe a little more abstract, or maybe like something that showed part of his face. You know, something that like left a little bit to the imagination still. In any case, a sweet card. It looks like Sam was not able to do a lot beyond playing Urza. Is that? What is the what is that metal? The metal card, the one in the center. I know we talk about this card.
It's perhaps representing a token here.
Okay. Oh, it must be a Thopter token.
I think we sacrificed the Mox to make a Thopter there because we had a second Mox. Little blocker for the Phoenixes. And when you're playing these blue-red decks when they have an active Ascension, it's just really hard to dig out of that hole unless they're down at a very low life total. It's the feeling of when Storm a couple years ago, maybe even longer than that, might be dating myself here, but they were based around Pyromancer's Ascension, and once that got active, it was drawing so many cards, making so much mana, and it's like, what are you going to do?
Oh, you know what they say, Travis. If you can't date yourself, you'll never be able to date anybody else.
And Mason's doing the thing where we're just cantripping.
Yeah, Mason with an embarrassment of riches. Probably just looking for the second bolt to just close out this game. Looks like Sam must have gained a life to make that Thopter, so I'm thinking he's at 13 here.
I'm gonna pay 2 life and get shot. One's gonna target the Thopter and one's gonna target you.
Sam goes 12 and the Thopter dies. Mason able to clean that up cleanly.
And Sam considering blowing up the Spell Bomb to tag one of those Phoenixes.
I mean, it's the right choice, right? I mean, he doesn't know it necessarily, but he probably just dies to this bolt if he does not blow something up here.
Could be thinking about sacrificing it to gain a life and make a Thopter.
Good point. Good point. Okay. Just chooses to sacrifice the mocks.
Yeah.
Those the blocks.
Sure.
And it's gonna take 3 to 10. So Mason has to decide at what point
Play
he
at
needs.
the
I
start of
think.
your turn. I'll pass.
Oh, I'm just gonna pass the turn.
It's a little scary. This Urza Thopter Sword deck, if Sam does manage to find the Sword of the Meek here, his deck basically just goes off.
Wow, is that a Nihil Spellbomb that we
That
picked up?
is.
Looks like we're a little bit flooding out over here.
So Sam's shortcutting a little bit. He's tapping the Pyrite Spellbomb for mana via Urza, and then sacrificing it via its own ability to pay 1, sacrifice it to draw a card. Goes to 9 and fetches up a swamp. Looks like we'll see that Pyrite Spellbomb here. A little bit late. The Ascension is already turned on and the Phoenixes are out of the yard.
So should we say Grixis Thopter or Grixis Urza? I don't know, what is this deck called?
I'll take 4.
Looks like Mason's gonna take 4.
Whoops. I like Grixis Urza.
All right. We're not going to exile the graveyard, but we are going to draw a card and gain a life and make a Thopter.
Draws another Urza. That's not what Sam's looking to see here. It's a bit of a tough spot for Sam. He probably knows that he's not going to see. If he sees his next turn, I think he'd be surprised.
Might just bolt instep here if I'm Mason. Really, it's hard to sequence this incorrectly with a Thought Scour and a Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, when all your spells do double things, it's more about just utilizing your mana efficiently, and it's pretty tough not to get there.
Maybe seeing some untapped islands has
And-
Mason pause, but when you have copies of your spells that go in the stack, even if stuff is countered.
Did Mason just pick up the 4th Manamorphose?
Any promise?
Okay. Leads off on Finale of Promise, and Sam scoops up the cards. That will do it for this game. And I actually don't know exactly how that works. So if you play Finale for a mana cost, it copies it, right? So you're getting 4 cards out of the yard,
Yeah, and you're casting those cards.
and then you're copying all of those cards too.
There's a lot of things that happen.
It's
It,
so many things.
it's not just creating a copy of the card, but you're actually casting the card
Which
that are in your graveyards
triggers
that
the-
will trigger the Ascension. Yep.
Jeez.
Yep.
It's a lot of Modern fun.
Yeah, Ascension
So-
plus that finale is quite
Overkill?
Yep. Okay, so seeing what's coming in, what's going out, looks like, oh, I saw a Pithing Needle and a Spell Bomb of the Pyrite variety going out for Sam. Imagine some number of surgical effects, perhaps. Looked like I saw a Damping Sphere. For Mason, you probably have some amount of like a Braid or artifact destruction in the sideboard. Depending on where Grixis or Thopter Sword decks are able to like be in the game, sometimes artifact destruction is decent, sometimes it's kind of doesn't really phase him at all.
Sure. Just wanted to note that both players comporting themselves very well in this match. You know, it definitely, if you're in Mason's situation, it can be intimidating to play against a player that is as good as Sam is. Mason did a great job of remembering his triggers, playing well, and
Yeah, I think that's something that you get to a little bit when you go to like GPs and stuff. You end up playing people that you've seen, like, I've seen a bunch of your videos, and you end up actually, they're everyone's people. They're just opponents that you're engaging with, and yeah, it can be nervous, but also we're just a little local game store here, and yeah, people that play Magic professionally usually like playing Magic for fun too.
yeah, absolutely.
Got a couple local folks in the Portland area that have spent a fair amount of time on the Pro Tour. Gabriel Carlton Barnes is a pretty prolific local player that pops around sometimes. And a few folks at Guardian have been a few times, but it's interesting how they're changing the whole Pro Tour without having pro points, and we're on the MPL now, and you can do it for a living and make $75,000 a year plus your Twitch income.
We're just in a crazy flux as far as like trying to turn Magic into kind of a real career is concerned. It's all over the place, and I think, you know, Wizards is still trying to get a handle on how exactly they want to make everything work. So if you're Mason, and you've seen that Sam is even playing some Nile Spellbomb's main deck, do you still keep in the Pyromancer's Ascension plan, or do you forgo that plan and just kind of use those slots to bring in sideboard cards?
I would say if you're on the draw, you might bring in some sideboard cards. It might be more important for you to disrupt Sam's synergies, but if you're on the play, you might want to still leave it in.
Sam leads on the, is it Arkham's Astrolabe?
I don't know.
Yeah, Arkham's Astrolabe, a new kind of snow artifact that draws a card when it comes into play, and you can tap a snow mana to get a mana of any color.
And an Ichor Wellspring after that. It's been a while since KCI was banned that I've seen an Ichor Wellspring on the battlefield in the modern format.
Yeah, one of those cards that's always just kind of waiting in the wings to have a use, as being a 2-mana artifact that draws a card on the way in and out. It's just kind of, it's a primo enabler.
Yeah, anytime you have sack outlets for artifact that gives you some other upside, Ichor Wellspring is gonna make its way into the deck list.
Yeah.
And it looks like Mason did elect to keep in the Pyromancer's Ascensions and has a couple in hand.
Then I'll play a Pyromancer Ascension. Go ahead.
Also, what a crazy piece of art.
What is it? I mean,
Ichor.
it's an Ichor Wellspring, but
Yeah, it's an Ichor. Well, it feels like Sam's deck is going to get to start doing what it wants to do here.
a lot of stuff just happened.
Yeah.
Some permanents replaced on the battlefield, and Urza's out.
With a construct that can't attack, as Sam has played his Ensnaring Bridge. So obviously Sam is not looking to use this construct to win the game by attacking. Possibly just part of the prison element. But you know what Grixis is not very good at, Travis?
Dealing with enchantments?
Yes. Yes. So, does Sam have a way to deal with this Ascension? Because Mason has the double Manamorphose again. Mason has the triple Manamorphose again. So, Sam's going to get to see the kind of replay of what happened last game, where Mason gets to turn on the Ascension on turn 3.
And I feel like you have to Grixis's way of dealing with Pyromancer's Ascension is basically dealing with a graveyard.
Right. But Sam's not even going to get time to do that.
And if you have the Surgical, you're not firing it off on Manamorphose right now, but
Morphos. Red, red. Ultra.
oh boy.
3 Phoenixes in hand. Does not have a looting effect,
And
so
Phoenixes are kind of useless right now.
yeah, without a looting effect, tosses out the other Ascension. So can Sam kind of lock things up a bit? It looks like he's sitting on a whir of invention.
Okay, so you could probably whir for some kind of hexproof effect, or we'll see what else we get.
All right, we're just kind of getting some free flips from Urza. Sam also shortcutting here, so you're technically supposed to, I think, shuffle every time you do that effect with Urza, but since Sam has not looked at the top of his library, it's essentially the same thing, and he's trying to save us some time.
So we got 3 Phoenixes and 2 Lightning Bolts. Mason's really good at drawing redundant spells.
Yeah, he does seem to like multiple copies of things. I mean, I think you just run out, you just start to run out. Well, Sam's sitting on 2 cards in hand. That's smart. That's
it's not someone's first rodeo.
yeah.
I'm gonna
He all right.
and it's copied off the Ascension.
So 2 bolts at Urza.
I'll pass.
Sam bobbles himself. He's sitting on another Urza in hand, so not terribly concerned here. The other interesting thing is that Construct is not a legendary construct, so he can get more constructs. Kind of a weird spot where Sam's Ensnaring Bridge is actually preventing him from killing Mason.
And there is that Tormod's Crypt. A little bit late here to deal with the first Ascension.
Looks like we're gonna see that second Urza here. Well, Sam electing to fetch first. It's the first damage he's taken this game. It's a good place to be against this Phoenix deck.
And it seemed like Mason had a pretty explosive opening there, but just not being able to even leverage casting these Arclight Phoenixes and attacking. And there's no Faithless Looting to Venom. Seems like we're at a bottleneck right now. And Urza number 2 comes down.
And we see Thopter Foundry.
In response, I'll bolt Urza.
And we get the bolt in response. Looks like Sam might go ahead and
We're gonna whir? Are we
yeah,
gonna
it's his use Urza's ability. He'll probably tap these for 5.
And it's also a counter on my other Pyromancer Ascension.
Maybe he's got enough to double up. Looks like he's gonna float 7. Float 7 blue via Urza's ability. But interestingly enough, does not choose to use 5 of it on Urza. Alright, whirs for
3 blue flooded. Whir for 2.
Looks like we're gonna go ahead and get a Sword of the Meek and start gaining some life here.
yeah, I don't know if he's supposed to have been able to tap that Thopter Foundry for mana there.
It has Convoke.
Ah, good point. Okay. Makes sense.
Or convoke for artifacts, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Use a blue. Sack.
So Sam's just going to try and basically get out of range here
I go to 20.
with some Thopters.
Use a blue.
Yep.
Do it again. I go to 21.
Looks like he's got, what, one more in his pool? No, I guess that's it. So grab a couple Thopters, go to 21. Mason draws, is that a mountain off the top? So Mason's in a tough spot. He managed to turn on the Ascension so quickly, but he has not found the cantrip that he needs to start chaining additional spells together.
So I've already used 2 lightning bolts, but if we have Finale of Promise in the deck, it's interesting to think about how much damage could Mason theoretically produce. A lot, but Sam's going to be able to be gaining at least 4 life during his turns.
Sounds good.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Or, let's see, no, we have a mock, so 5. So Sam's probably going to get out of range here in a couple turns.
Both of these engines are so powerful. And Sam finds the 3rd Urza of the game. And Mason scoops him up. Yeah. At this, so we did not get to see Sam demonstrate the combo, but Thopter Sword plus Urza is infinite. It goes infinite.
Yep, that's infinite life that you got there, and infinite Thopters.
Yep, and then you can parlay that into drawing as many cards as you want from there. So, yeah, Sam assembled Urzatron.
three card combo.
Yeah. I'm just trying to switch
you
up
made a
modern a
joke,
little
yeah.
bit. Yeah.
I
I'm
got
making
that. That was
I'm
a good
making
one.
really bad jokes. It's the end of the night here. Last match. Ethan Magic Brown. In fact, yes. That is the Sam Black that is playing in this game.
I have a sneaking suspicion I know who Ethan Magic Brown is. Ethan, I just bought a boat. I'm sure we'll be hanging out on this boat sometime in the near future. Your dad is stoked. Speaking of pro players that play Guardian, Ethan was, I think, maybe one of the youngest, if not the youngest person to qualify for the Pro Tour. And got 2nd place at a GP a few years ago and went to a few Pro Tours. And hopefully is going to start coming back to Guardian and playing more Magic. It's always nice to see him out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to go, Ethan. So, Travis, we saw that Mason chose in Game 2 not to take out any of his Pyromancer's Ascensions. When you draw 3 Manamorphose on turn 2, it doesn't look that bad. However, would you consider taking at least some of them out for Game 3?
Well, Mason's going to be in the play, so I kind of like them at that point. Yeah, you can basically use them as a way to leverage Sam exiling Mason's graveyard with like a Tormod's Crypt without dumping your valuable cards in there, like Arclight, Phoenix, etc. And to be able to play it on turn 2 and then untap and have it turn 3 to make Sam perhaps make some tough choices. Seems fine. Yeah, I might keep them in. I don't know if you have much anything that's better to bring in.
Fair enough.
Because you're probably going to have to go a little bit of a distance with direct damage spells. Sam's going to find an ensnaring bridge.
Players taking a look at opening hands
A
here.
little force of negation over there for Mason.
I'll keep this.
So, Mason keeps. He definitely has a far more reactive hand here. Leaning on visions.
Bottom both of those. Go ahead.
I think we saw 2 lands that scry.
Have you? I have not seen anything but basics out of Sam's deck. Is that? Am I forgetting? Or have
Well,
we
there's
only seen
Prismatic
bait?
Vista, which is in the deck, so it's
Yeah.
maybe insulating yourself from Blood Moon, or perhaps you're playing your own Blood Moons.
Yeah, I guess I mean I have not seen any like fast lands or shock lands.
I think that is a correct assessment of what's
I'll
been
do it.
on camera.
And then I'll pass.
Actually, Cute Bunny, we don't know, but he's been very accommodating for us, and has opted to be on stream. So, don't know. Don't really know him as a person, but he is fun to listen to on the podcast that he's a part of.
Yeah, it seemed pretty unassuming and like a nice guy to me.
Yeah.
Oh, getting a force negation. Sam is like, yep, that exiles this. Not the part of the combo you really want to exile, though.
He knows his new cards.
And we had that Tormod script. Looks like Mason is still really good at drawing multiples of cards here.
Yeah. But no Pyromancer's Ascension to take advantage of it
Two
this time
Faithless
around.
Lootings. Kinda awkward with that Tormod script.
Yeah.
Well, there's that Pyromancer's Ascension.
Yeah, the one-shot Graveyard Hate is very legit against the Phoenix deck. Not quite as legit against the Hagak, but and Mason's doing kind of what you have to do here, which is just drop that Phoenix. He's probably going to want to try and bait Sam into exiling the graveyard before he drops that Pyromancer's Ascension. And he's going to have to build things back up after he drops that.
Yeah, and when you're going down one card each time you cast a Faithless Looting, you're not getting a flashback. It's some serious card disadvantage there.
Oh, and he drops the he tosses the Pyromancer's Ascension. I guess I could see that. Maybe he feels like it would just be too long to build that thing back up.
Oh.
But this is going to be tough to climb.
There's a Psy Master Thopterus.
Opt double Phoenix. I mean, there's a line. You opt into Manamorphose, draw a Faithless Looting off it,
See your missions?
toss a couple Phoenixes in the yard. I guess you could just hit a looting here.
Game 3. One's on top, one's on bottom. I'll pass.
Mason doing a great job verbalizing what he's doing.
I think the ice isn't the worst against a Psy.
Sam fetches to 14, so I guess a fetch shot coming here. So he is playing some shocks.
17.
And I must have missed a shock there, so Mason down to 17. And we see Urza.
Are Urza and Psy friends, do you think? Do they hang out together?
I have a feeling that Sai was like not even born until long after Urza had passed. But I also just feel like Urza just nobody can touch Urza. He's just been around for forever. Except for Misha, I guess, his bro.
Oh, yeah, true. They tend to hang out together.
Yeah.
Karn's been around for almost as long, right?
Well, Urza made Karn. So, I mean, kind of.
13.
Nicol Bolas is maybe older than Urza.
Yes. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Yeah. We're figuring it out here.
Not the best with the magic lore over here.
Yeah, we're amateurs, let's be honest. Have we seen the Esper Mentor deck? Not specifically.
Not in person. I've read deck list.
Yeah.
Unearth is a sweet card. I feel like is the what we take from all these Esper lists that are popping up.
Sam drops the bridge. Serves with
Total?
some creatures.
3, 1, 1.
5. I'll take 5.
Looks like Mason's taken 5 down to 12.
You were. Oh, I missed a fetch.
You hit me for one with side.
Oh, I just didn't record that. Okay, got it. Go ahead.
All right.
Turn, I'm gonna thought scour myself.
Okay.
Get a thought scour. End of turn for Mason.
Draw.
Oh, there's an abrade.
All untap. Draw.
Mana Warpost and abrade.
That's,
Morphos.
man.
Red, red. Or counter off the thing, then red, red. Draw.
So Mason's got 2 red floating here.
Could potentially shock with the steam vents and get a defensive arc light down.
Do you do that, or do you need to... Yeah, this is tough, because he's not going to be able to flip that thing in the ice this turn, huh?
No. We have an abrade hanging out.
Yeah, Braid. Does he have a looting in the graveyard? I don't think so. I think they all got exiled.
And we're shocking down to 10 and then just passing the turn here.
So Sam's Brady senses, I'm sure, are tingling.
He might also, Mason might trying to slow Sam down a little bit here to perhaps, play around Mason being able to double spell.
Looks like we're worrying here for... No. We are Spine. Is that Spine of Ishsa?
It is.
Oh, the old Spine.
Yeah, results.
It's a an old favorite of the KCI deck as it evolved. At some point the deck got a spine.
Zing. Do we want to pull that one up on the card fetcher?
Absolutely. Oh, got the spelling right first try too. What a night.
Draw a card
Let's
on the
take a
side,
look
trigger.
at the spine.
Sure.
That's a loop.
Draw.
It's a that card hurts. Especially when you're a deck that's not playing a ton of permanents.
Yeah, back when they printed cards that just said permanent and not non-land permanent.
I'll take 3.
Yeah, Mason's taking 3.
They heard players like land destruction.
Cards in hand.
4.
But I think the card that they would really never print again is Ensnaring Bridge. Let's be honest. That card's crazy.
All untap. Draw.
Well, it looks like we just get a fetch land there, so this is perhaps going to be the end.
It's tough. Mason's definitely feeling the squeeze here.
Yeah, I think both those lootings were exiled with that Tormod script earlier, so.
Yeah. I wonder, it's one of those games I'm sure that Mason's gonna look back on and kind of think about, could he have sequenced any differently knowing that the Tormod script was out there?
Sideboarding choices maybe too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think always worth it to consider that you've, maybe missed something that could have made a difference in the match. But certainly I've been very impressed with Mason's play and how he's comported himself in this match.
Well,
I have 2 Thopters that do not have Summon Sickness. I now have 1 Thopter that does have Summon Sickness. In addition to 1 tap. This is
Spine comes down. Looks like we're gonna start blowing up lands.
Floater red in response.
Steam vents down, red floated in response. At what point are you firing off this abrade? Are you just, I guess you're just saving it for the combo, but
I honestly
not
don't
really
see a way out of
losing.
this one.
Yeah, you're not really losing to the combo. You're literally just losing to what's on board at this point.
trigger.
Yep.
Draw.
You know when the prison deck's sacking Ensnaring Bridge, that they feel they're in a good spot.
We're doing some counting over here. And we're going to combat.
I imagine Sam has gained a number of life. Oh no,
Tap it for a
no
blue.
Thopter Foundry.
No Thopter Foundry.
Thinking.
A braid on the construct token. Sam is thinking. It's like a couple more blue. 4 blue. Where are we gonna see a welding jar here?
Get foundry.
All right.
2 for 2.
I will take 2.
So the braid should resolve here, right? Before those attacks? Am I crazy?
The braid was targeting was not targeting Urza. It's targeting I think a construct token.
Right, but shouldn't that resolve before
Yes.
Sam declares?
Yes.
Okay.
Go.
Is that construct token still hanging out?
It is still there.
Okay. I can go let him know.
It probably won't matter.
It's not gonna matter, but
Um,
looks like we're going to time in round, so it might matter. Mason is at 5. And hold on 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Sorry.
so yeah, clear that up. Probably isn't gonna matter. I mean, was probably worth just, you know, making sure the board state looked good. But Sam has a extremely commanding lead in this game. Looking to close things out.
What did we see on that Serum Vision scry? Anything that matters?
I did not see, but I honestly can't. We're at that point in the game where I'm trying to imagine if I stacked Mason's deck, if he could win this game, and I can't come up with how I could stack his deck to bring this game back within reach.
Yeah, we've seen those phoenixes just kind of languishing in hand there.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy how much that one Tormod's crypt really, really shut down what Mason's trying to do.
Yeah, I didn't like the going all in with pitching your Ascension. I liked being able to keep Ascension as a way to sort of rebuild after Crypt gets your Phoenixes, but
Right.
yeah, it's a tough call. Really.
Totally, very tough call, because I can definitely see he was thinking it would take too long to rebuild from there. At the same time, it does feel like if you're down that many cards, especially against a deck that is pretty good at fighting on the axes of you attacking, given that it has Ensnaring Bridge and Whir of Invention. I don't know, you know, if Sam hadn't found that spine and Mason had managed to abrade the Ensnaring Bridge and had been able to start serving with that 7/8, but Sam had plenty of tokens to block. That's a real tough one, huh?
But that is going to conclude the match here, and I'm wondering, does chat know if this deck has a name? Are we like Grixis Thopter Foundry? What are
Yeah,
up
I
in the
mean,
air.
we've seen it floating around, kind of various versions of these kind of Urza decks. I think Urza is like I mean, Urza's the new hotness. They are like Thopter Foundry
yeah.
decks, but
If you play Commander too, I feel like people are into Urza.
although Ren and 6 has jumped
Ooh.
Urza
That's true.
recently.
Yeah. I heard you maybe had a friend that like convinced you to get a playset of Ren and 6.
Just really, just Travis over here tooting his own horn. You want me to tell the story? You want me to tell
you
the
can tell
story?
a
to all the
story.
chat?
Yeah, I kind
So,
of do.
During pre-release time, pre-order time, I asked Travis if I should buy Ren and 6 at that time or if I should wait if they would go down, because I really wanted to play a set of Ren and 6. And Travis pretty much guaranteed me that Ren and 6 would appreciate in value and that it was the right time to buy. And he has since been proven correct, although Ren and 6 did fall a bit right after the set came out, but has now gone up to about $50 or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I
so
think it's even more right now. We're at
So
60.
probably the right choice. We'll go with that. We'll
And
go with probably the right choice.
if anyone is curious about investment opportunities, you can feel free to email us, and yeah, I can get back to you.
Ooh, I am actually a pretty big fan of that deck name.
Urza?
From Iron Volpert.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, that's clever. That's more clever than anything I've said tonight, so we'll take it.
But I want to, yeah, give a big shout out and thanks to all the viewers out there hanging out with us for 4 rounds of Magic. We are Portland Paper. We're here every Monday at 6:30. You can always check our Twitter or our Twitch. We should have schedule up. We have other events that we do sometimes, not quite as regularly as every Monday. But yeah, we host Modern, Legacy, sometimes Pauper, and we will be back next Monday. Thanks for hanging out this night. Feel free to give us a follow or a subscription, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good one, y'all.